Here we are back from the ski trip, had a great time with the family, and today I'm going to do a follow-up video to what I talked about yesterday, and this idea of leveraging your strengths to overcome fear. And I had to do this when I was starting Endurance Journey coaching 7 years ago. You see, at the time I had a great full-time job managing a fitness facility. I had a great team with me, great CEO that I was working for. Everything was going well. I really had no reason to start a sideline business. But in my life, I have always been passionate about three things: health, fitness, and endurance sport. And I loved helping people and interacting with people through those avenues. So in 2010, I had made a significant change in my life at that point. I was a relatively new father. My daughter was a year and a half old. I had lost a lot of weight. I had regained my health. People were noticing. They started asking me for advice about coaching, specifically for endurance sport. And I started a little business just because I really enjoyed it. And it was something that was a lot of fun and brought some inspiration and enjoyment back into me. And that little business of just doing it as a sideline started to grow and grow and grow. And in 2014, it got to the point where I was spending so much time when I wasn't working in my job coaching that it was starting to impact my ability to spend time with my family. And that was not acceptable to me. So I had to make a decision. And with that decision came a lot of fear. When you're contemplating being an entrepreneur, it's not easy, especially when you're leaving a very secure position with benefits and a secure salary. When you're an entrepreneur, your salary isn't secure, you have no benefits, everything's on you 100%. But I knew that I had something to give people. I've always believed that, and I knew that if I really put my heart and soul into it, that I could be successful and help a lot of people. And if I kept working this other job, that I just wouldn't be able to give the time and energy, and it would never grow to the point where I think I could help as many people as possible. And I would regret that. And one thing I don't like living with is regret. So what I did was I just analyzed what were my true fears, and my true fears came down to the security component. Losing that security by becoming an entrepreneur. But how could I limit that risk? And what I needed to do was get people around me who could support my strengths. And my strengths were coaching. My strengths were being in there, helping people day to day, supporting them, providing motivation, providing information. That was my strength. My other areas that were not strengths were the financial aspects, the accounting, the administration. All of those things I needed to find support for. So to help me limit the fear and risk, I started to bring in people to support me in those roles. And that really helped me leverage my strength as a coach. So I could spend time focusing on those things that I was good at and get support in the areas where I was not good. And this takes being really honest with myself. I had a strong self-belief in my skill set as a coach, but I knew that if I tried to do all these different things, which I initially did when I started my business, and that was a mistake, that I would not be able to leverage my strength. So I brought in other people to help with accounting and administration, and that was a big step, but it allowed me to focus on my strength of coaching and helping people every day. So when you think about overcoming your fear, instead of thinking about you have to do everything yourself, think about what your strengths are in whatever the challenge or goal that you have in front of you. Now think about, to help you limit the risk that you potentially think you're taking, who can help you leverage the areas where you're maybe not so strong? Who can you bring in? Who can help you? Ask for help. And that's a huge step, because then all of a sudden you'll be able to see, I can focus on the areas where I'm strong, and then I can bring in people to help me where maybe my strengths aren't there. yet. And by doing so, you start to really be able to focus on what you're good at. And when you do that, now you can stay passionate, and it limits the risk that you're taking by going after that challenge. So instead of living with regret, look at fear from the perspective of what are your strengths and who can help you leverage the areas where you're not so strong, so you limit the risk. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about how to build your self-belief and confidence, which will be your ultimate weapon in overcoming fear, and that's taking extreme ownership. And I'm going to explain what that means tomorrow. So appreciate your comments, appreciate you following along, and we will talk to you soon.